Have you ever wondered what goes through her mind when she realizes you've moved on? The truth is, your change in energy does something powerful, something she can't ignore. In this video, I'll reveal why stepping back changes everything and how it can make her see you in a completely new light. Stick around, because this is a game changer you don't want to miss. 1. The moment she feels the shift moving on is one of the most powerful statements you can make. But the real power lies in the moment she realizes you've done it. At first, she may not notice, as many people assume they'll always have a certain level of control or attention from others. She might think you're still waiting in the wings, still hoping for her acknowledgement. But when your energy truly shifts, when your actions, mindset, and focus move away from her, everything begins to change. This shift doesn't happen because of what you say. It's not about making a bold announcement or trying to prove you're done. It happens subtly, in ways that resonate on a deeper emotional level. Maybe you stop liking her social media posts. Maybe you no longer reply to her texts within seconds. Or perhaps you've completely stepped back from engaging altogether. Suddenly she feels the absence of your energy. And make no mistake, people notice when energy changes. This is where the psychology kicks in. Humans crave what they no longer have. Your attention, which she may have taken for granted, becomes a void she didn't realize she'd miss. She begins to think about why you've pulled away, what caused the shift, and more importantly, what you're doing now. That sense of curiosity, combined with the sudden lack of your presence, creates an emotional ripple effect that's hard to ignore. But here's the thing, this shift only works when it's genuine. You can't pretend to move on and hope she notices. It has to come from a place of real growth and self-improvement. She feels the shift, not just because you've stepped back, but because you've reconnected with yourself. You're no longer chasing her validation or seeking her attention. You're focused on your goals, passions, and happiness. That kind of emotional independence radiates, and she can feel it, even without direct interaction. As time goes on, this absence begins to weigh on her mind. She wonders what's changed. She questions whether she underestimated you. Most importantly, she starts to realize what she had in you. Moving on doesn't just send a message, it changes the dynamic entirely. 2. Why your absence speaks louder than words. When you stop reaching out, stop trying to fix things, and stop chasing, your silence becomes a powerful tool. Absence creates space, and in that space, emotions grow. It's not the text you send or the conversations you try to start that leave an impact. It's the silence. The withdrawal of energy speaks volumes. Why does this work? Because human nature craves what feels scarce or unavailable. When you were always there, she didn't have to think about what it would feel like if you weren't. But now that you've pulled back, she's forced to confront that reality. Suddenly the dynamic has shifted, and she's the one wondering about you. Think about it this way. If someone gives you unlimited access to something, you don't value it as much. But the moment it's taken away, its importance skyrockets. That's exactly what's happening in her mind. Your absence isn't just noticeable, it's impactful. It creates a vacuum where she starts filling in the blanks with thoughts about you. But it's not just about being silent. It's about what you do with that silence. You're not waiting around for her. You're living your life. You're growing, thriving, and radiating confidence. When she notices that your absence isn't about withholding attention, but about focusing on yourself, it changes everything. 3. The curiosity that drives her crazy. When you stop chasing and genuinely move on, something fascinating happens. She becomes curious. This curiosity isn't random. It's a natural response to the emotional gap you've created. She starts wondering why you've gone silent, what you're doing, and who you're doing it with. Curiosity is one of the most powerful emotions because it drives people to seek answers. In her mind, she's replaying past interactions, trying to figure out where things shifted. Was it something she said? Did she misjudge you? This mental loop keeps her thinking about you long after you've stopped thinking about her. You're on her mind more than you ever were before. Here's the beauty of curiosity. It's driven by the unknown. When you were always available, there wasn't much for her to wonder about. But now your silence and the lack of information create a void that she feels compelled to fill. And because she doesn't have access to you, her imagination takes over. She might scroll through your social media, checking for updates. She might ask mutual friends what you've been up to. She might even consider reaching out just to see if you'll respond. This curiosity isn't just about you. It's about the emotional impact of your absence. But the key here is consistency. If she senses that your silence is a tactic or that you're trying to manipulate her, the curiosity fades. Genuine curiosity arises when your actions come from a place of authenticity. You're not trying to make her miss you, you're simply living your life, and that in itself creates intrigue. Curiosity is a powerful force because it keeps you in her mind. The longer she spends wondering about you, the more likely she is to reevaluate her feelings and choices. The power of your growth. When you move on, it's not just about stepping back, it's about stepping up. Moving on isn't passive, it's an active process of growth and self-improvement. When she notices that growth, it leaves a lasting impression. Think about it. When you're focused on your own development, everything about you changes. Your energy shifts, your confidence grows, and you start radiating a sense of purpose. These changes don't go unnoticed, even if you're not in direct contact with her. Your growth becomes apparent in subtle ways. Maybe you've started working out, and your physical transformation is visible. Maybe you've taken on new challenges, pursued new goals, or embraced a new passion. Whatever it is, she sees that you're thriving without her, and that realization hits hard. Here's why your growth matters. It's a reminder of what she's missing. When you improve yourself, you're not just showing her what she lost, you're showing her that you're constantly evolving. People are naturally drawn to growth because it's inspiring and magnetic. Growth also shifts the dynamic. You're no longer the person who was waiting for her attention. You're now someone who's moving forward, creating a better version of yourself. And that shift is what makes her see you in a new light. But remember, your growth isn't about her. It's about you. The goal isn't to make her notice. It's to create a life that you're proud of. And when that growth is genuine, it doesn't just change how she sees you, it changes how you see yourself. 5. When she realizes what she's lost. The final stage is often the most impactful. At some point, she'll realize what she's lost. This realization doesn't happen overnight. It's a gradual process that builds as she reflects on your absence, your growth, and the void you've left in her life. She starts to connect the dots. She remembers the attention, the care, and the energy you used to give her. She realizes that what she once took for granted is now gone. That loss creates a powerful emotional response. She might think about the times she didn't appreciate your efforts or the opportunities she missed to connect with you on a deeper level. And as she reflects, she starts to see you in a new light, not as someone who needed her validation, but as someone who had the strength to move on. But here's the beauty of this stage. It's no longer about her. By the time she realizes what she's lost, you've already grown beyond the point of needing her approval. You've created a life that fulfills you, and that's the most powerful position to be in. When she finally sees your worth, the dynamic shifts entirely. She's no longer in control of the situation. You are. And whether or not you choose to reconnect is entirely up to you. 6. Why distance creates desire. There's a reason why the phrase "absence makes the heart grow fonder" is timeless. It holds true in relationships. When you distance yourself from someone, it creates a psychological effect that fosters longing and curiosity. It's human nature to place value on things that are no longer readily available. And when you step back, it's not just about physical distance. It's about emotional and mental space that makes her reconsider everything. Here's the psychology behind it. When you were always available, she got used to your presence, whether consciously or subconsciously. She knew you were there, but when that availability is taken away, it disrupts her sense of security. Suddenly, she's left wondering why the dynamic has changed. This shift triggers a feeling of loss. Distance also allows her to reflect on her own emotions. When you're constantly around, she might not take the time to evaluate how she feels about you. But when you remove yourself from the equation, she has the space to think about what you meant to her. Reflection often leads to feelings of nostalgia, regret, or even longing. But distance isn't just about pulling back. It's about what you do during that time. If you're sitting around waiting for her to notice, the energy doesn't shift. However, if you're growing, thriving, and living your life, that distance becomes impactful. She doesn't just notice your absence, she notices the transformation happening in your life. Here's an example. Imagine she sees you on social media, looking happier, healthier, and more confident. You're not posting to get her attention, but your actions naturally speak for themselves. This combination of distance and visible growth creates a powerful dynamic where she's left wondering, did I make the wrong choice? Did I underestimate him? The key to making distance work is consistency. Don't break the silence prematurely, and don't use distance as a game or tactic. Genuine space, paired with genuine growth, creates an authentic shift that she can't ignore. 7. How moving on boosts your value. Moving on doesn't just affect her perception of you, it fundamentally changes how you view yourself. When you make the decision to stop chasing, to stop seeking validation, and to focus on your own life, you unlock a sense of self-worth that elevates your value in every interaction. Here's the truth. People are drawn to confidence, independence, and a sense of purpose. When you move on, you embody all of these traits. You're no longer the person who waits around for someone else to decide your worth. Instead, you're someone who creates value in your own life, and that energy is magnetic. But here's the kicker. Your growth isn't just noticeable to her. Other people will start to notice too. Friends, co-workers, even strangers will pick up on the fact that you're thriving. Your conversations become more engaging, your presence more impactful, and your overall demeanor more attractive. This ripple effect not only boosts your value in her eyes, but also elevates your social and professional life. Moving on also shifts the power dynamic. When you were chasing her, she held the upper hand. But when you step back and focus on yourself, that dynamic flips. She's now the one wondering about you, thinking about what you're up to, and questioning whether she made the right decision. Here's a practical tip. Focus on things that make you feel alive and fulfilled, whether it's fitness, travel, a new hobby, or advancing in your career. Invest in activities that give you a sense of purpose. The more fulfilled you are, the less you'll feel the need for external validation. The beauty of moving on is that it's not about proving anything to her. It's about proving to yourself that you're capable of creating a fulfilling, meaningful life. And when you operate from that mindset, your value becomes undeniable. 8. The power of letting her come to you. One of the biggest mistakes people make is feeling the need to control the narrative. When someone pulls away or goes silent, the instinct is often to chase, to explain, or to fix the situation. But the truth is, the most powerful thing you can do is let her come to you. Here's why this works. When you stop chasing, you give her the space to miss you. In that space, she starts to feel the weight of your absence. She's left to reflect on her own actions, her own decisions, and what she might be losing. Letting her come to you also shifts the dynamic. You're no longer the one seeking her attention. She's now the one initiating contact. This creates a sense of balance and respect, which is essential for any healthy relationship. But letting her come to you isn't about playing hard to get. It's about genuinely stepping back and focusing on your own life. You're not ignoring her to manipulate her feelings. You're simply prioritizing yourself and allowing her to make her own choices. Here's a practical way to approach this. If she reaches out, don't immediately jump to reply. Take your time, assess the situation, and respond when you're ready. This shows that you're not overly eager and that you value your own time and energy. When you let her come to you, you're demonstrating confidence and self-respect, and those traits are far more attractive than any text or grand gesture could ever be. Thanks for watching. If you found value in this video, drop a comment below and let me know your thoughts. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you never miss future videos. See you next time.